everyone. I'm Namrata Zoshi, co-head of Talks at Warwick India Forum, and I'd like to welcome you all to another episode of WIF Vichar. The main purpose of WIF Vichar is to let our speakers put their thoughts into words. And talking about thoughts and words, we have a very special speaker with us today who uses his thoughts and words to attract very large numbers at all his stand-up shows across the globe. We've had the privilege of hosting him at our university live in person back in 2019, but due to the current circumstances, we obviously couldn't. And if you haven't already guessed, he's a man in the screen right next to me. It's Mr. Atul Khatri. Welcome, sir. It's our honor to host you once again.
Thank you, Namrata. Thank you for this opportunity. Always fun to, once again connect with WIF. Have very good memories of my trip back in 2019.
Yeah.
And love the campus. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm actually a first year, so the first years weren't there to witness you last time, so it's our first opportunity and we're very grateful. So to get started a little bit, sir, how have you been spending lockdown?
Oh, actually, I've been honestly very, very busy. So I was supposed to be in the US. So I had a tour starting from 13th March to 13th of April. I had like a 16 city tour in Canada and the US, but it got locked down, it got postponed. So I had to come back. So when I came back, I was wondering what I would do because all my shows were cancelled, and obviously even the shows in India and everything was cancelled. So it got me worrying. And but you know what, I was like just 3 days before the lockdown. I mean, around 13th of March, I was reading the news and things like that, and I saw this entire, there was so much negativity coming. I consider myself to be a fairly strong personality mentally, but I was feeling anxious. I was feeling, what's happening. The first time, and hopefully the last time we are seeing this pandemic. So I said, let me search for some positive news. And I started on 15th March with my first episode of Positive News. And fortunately, started doing that every day and found that there were a lot of people. It got a lot of support, that Positive News, because at that time, I think I was the only one doing that. I think globally, I think I was the only one doing that, at least I know of. Later on, I've heard of other celebrities also doing it. But so that actually honestly gave me some kind of a routine to the day, got me busy, and it also honestly later on it got me some sponsorship also. And then obviously right now I've been doing some shows also. I'm doing Zoom shows. I'm doing a lot of these lives like these, and to be very honest, I'm quite busy. I think even busier than what I would have been on the tour, because usually when you tour, you have a 1 hour show in the evening, but the rest of the day is pretty much free for you to think or write or things like that. But now there's so much. In fact, I don't think ever been so busier. So I think it's good because busy is good.
Yeah, busy is good. So we have a few questions that we actually collected from students who have seen your shows before and also the freshers. The first one being, as someone who's used to performing a lot in front of the large audience, how challenging has it been to adapt to such a scenario where you're not able to perform live in front of people?
Actually, it has been very difficult, but I think after doing like close to 4 5 shows, I think now I'm getting used to the thing. Like last night, I had a like a Zoom video show with close to around 100 people. So now I'm getting used to it, because it's like, it's like probably starting going back to the drawing board, because performing to an audience on a screen is very, very difficult. As comedians, we require instant gratification in terms of laughter, in terms of clap. So earlier the issue was, should we mute everybody? And then when he muted everybody, then I was getting off track. So then he, unmuted some people, but then people are talking behind people. Somebody's mixer is going on, somebody's child is screaming because you're at home. So that was getting disturbing. But off now, I think now we are getting into it, and we are sort of training ourselves and also training the audience how to enjoy like a good show on online. Yes.
Yeah.
So I think it's been challenging, but slowly and steadily we'll be getting there, because I think for the next, I don't know, I hope we find a vaccine fast.
Yeah.
But I think the next 6 8 months, 1 year, we'll be doing like these only shows.
Yeah. Yeah. So another question was, how different is it interacting with your audience online using different social media platforms as compared to like talking to them in person? Because a lot of your scripts and content also comes from the kind of replies you get from the audience.
Yeah, in a way. So see, first of all, what happens, obviously meeting somebody face to face is always much more better. I think people are much more warmer when they meet you. When you are behind the garb of social media, you have a lot of trolls or people who can say what they want. and sometimes they don't have proper names also. They're hidden behind identities. So it's very difficult to basically sometimes communicate with these people, but always nothing compared to like talking to somebody, a human being,
Yeah.
face to face, getting instant feedback and talking to them. I think people are much more warmer when you meet them in front, but behind the social media, they can form a very different kind of a same person can behave very differently when he's behind a mask.
Yeah, it's just a shield to protect you from whatever you would otherwise have not said in person. Yeah.
And the worst kind of trolls are, they'll start only with giving you a bad word, and then when you talk to them and you give them a bad word back, and or you get back to them and they say, "Oh, sir, I'm a big fan. I just wanted to do this to gain your attention." So you have jokers like these also, and there are many of these.
Okay. So, of course, this you've sort of answered, but with the impact that this pandemic has had, most performances will now be going online and will be pre-recorded and then uploaded. So, do you think this is something that you will have to adapt to as well?
It's actually not getting pre-recorded, so we can't perform pre-recorded because, as I said, as a comedian, I want laughter, I want claps to hear. So if I'm pre-recording, it will just be me talking in front of a screen, with silence, and I'm assuming the laughter in my head, or
Yeah.
I'm assuming the claps in my head. So it's not working that way. So pre-recorded doesn't work. Even if you see whatever we sets we record and we put it up online in YouTube or Netflix, it's always with the live audience, because what happens when people clap, people laugh, even you as an audience, even though you are sitting at home on your phone, on a car, on a train, and watching me, the laughter of the audience sort of also helps you to laugh along. So sometimes if you miss a joke, you'll rewind and go back. What did he say that the audience laughed so much? So sometimes you'll do all that. So pre-recorded does not work. It's just you require a live audience. I mean, at least some instant gratification.
Yeah, of course. So another question was that we've been seeing that you've been doing these positive news only episodes, which is of course very different because it is very important to remain positive in such times, no matter who you are, where you're from. It's very important. So we wanted to ask you what really inspired you to do this.
So I so since last year actually I have been doing a series. So my sister happens to be one of India's renowned psychiatrists. Her name is Dr. Anjali Chabria. So last year I did a series with her called The Shrink and the Nut, where we went to different colleges. So till I think till 2018, I didn't know much about mental health illness,
Yeah.
and but in 2018 I did a program with her called Shrink and the Nut, where obviously she's the shrink, I'm the nut. We went to close to around 15-20 colleges. We addressed close to 25,000 children. Children mean kids from the age of I would say from the age of 15 to 25, and we explain to them about mental health awareness, and that's when I sort of when I dwelled deeper in the topic, I came to know how uh, how vast this issue is in terms of, or how many people are actually get affected every year, due to this mental health illnesses which people have, and these are things which can, there's a lot of stigma attached to it. A lot of people do not take mental health, they don't take help in these issues. There are families who don't want to children to take help. So in this pandemic, I sort of assume that a lot of children out there, a lot of people out there generally would have been very very anxious, because this is the first time we are seeing this pandemic, and I mean, again, I'm saying hopefully for the last time. So I want to be, and when I came out with the positive news, I was sure that it's going to hit the right nerve at a lot of people who were so anxious, because you open any WhatsApp, you open any social media, you open the newspaper, you open TV channels, they're just talking about deaths. They're talking about, I mean, which is already happening. But there is also beyond that a lot of positive things which are happening. People are donating, what all people have done, and yeah, people have gone out of the way to help people, and that in a way inspires people to do that. Like for example, forming a routine in a day, like when you're in a pandemic, people have forgotten sometimes what day of the week it is. They've forgotten what time it is. So people, you wake up at 3 in the afternoon, and you'll have a breakfast at 4. Then you'll, again sleep at 6 in the morning. So all these sleep patterns and health, it actually causes, adds to your anxiety. So as
Yeah.
much as possible, it's better to form a routine. Wake up in the morning at 8:30, have a shower, wear your underclothes. Because people have stopped wearing their underclothes. Then then have your meals on time, do some exercise, because exercise helps a lot in terms of releasing positive hormones in your body, which helps you to keep you mentally healthy. So the idea of this entire positive news was, in fact, one of the aspects which I always cover in the positive news is a mental health tip always.
Yeah.
So as a result of which see to it that it's a holistic kind of a show, a very fun show, stupid show, 10 minute show. But overall, to just tell people this, it's a disease. It will go away. There are scientists around the world, and also one more thing, that entire world is in it together. It's not only affected India or America or UK or Europe. Everybody is going through the same emotions, the same thing. And the thing is that very soon we are going to find a cure for it. And just telling people to stay positive in this, because that's the only, honestly, the hope we have.
Yeah. And I mean, I personally watched a few of them, and they cover a different range of topics. I mean, right from the yield of potatoes in Talegaon to the Supreme Court's decision in favoring the Permanent Commission of Women in the Navy, etc. So, does reading
Correct.
such news for you personally also affect your mood and your thinking and outlook in a very positive way? And would you encourage people to do this as well?
Yeah, definitely. I would definitely encourage people. First of all, see what has also happened. You have to realize is, because I have two daughters. My elder daughter is 25. My younger daughter is 23, and they have in fact stopped reading news. They don't watch TV. They don't read newspaper. I'm an old man, so I still tend to read the newspaper. But the only news you get is through social media, and I know that a lot of my fan base is in this, exactly this young group of age group which I have. So I thought that, let me tell them about this. A lot of positive news happen. And obviously, when I also read positive news, it also puts in a lot of positivity within me. And I think that's very, very important to do that in this time of the pandemic, because, people could get very anxious, and rightfully, there is a lot of uncertainty still. What's going to happen? The governments don't know what's happening. Your big leaders don't know. In UK, even your Prime Minister Boris Johnson got COVID, and he was very serious. So the thing is that people are don't know. There's a lot of uncertainty. We are all going through the same emotions. So
Yeah.
it's important as much as possible to, I try to spread some positivity in my own way.
Yeah, and that brings me to my other question, which is about, do you feel like the Indian media in general and the media around the world, whether it's news or social media, do they just focus on the number of deaths, the number of cases, the kind of people affected? I mean, India is focusing a lot about on the migrant labor not getting what they actually deserve. So do you feel like they're also not focusing on something that they should have been, and they're only putting all the negative facts out there?
No, I think as much as possible, most of the TV channels are putting out the truth. So I personally subscribe to a few of channels like CNN, Al Jazeera, NDTV, India Today, and some of these better channels which actually show a very the complete side of it. Okay, and also some of them are been showing positive news or some kind of wherever they spot anything. But in the initial phases, because they also honestly didn't know. But some of the media today is so much crap. They're showing wrong things. They're showing some baba taking some pills and that will cure corona. Gaumutra will cure corona. Some doing this will cure corona. And it's not only it's happening around the world. Wherever there's very like even in some of the Islamic countries, I've seen something on one of those Pakistan TV or something like that, where they're just talking about this corona is nothing, it will go away, just pray to God, it will go away, and things like that. So I think it is some channels are doing a good job of it. It's not that all channels are just showing this, but to be very honest with you, the situation outside is very bad, and they are trying their best to cover it. And I'm sure wherever there's positivity, they are showing it.
Yeah. And that's what's also needed, because I mean, just focusing on everything that's not good is not good for us at all. Um,
Absolutely.
yeah. Another question was, so social media seems to be the most entertaining tool in all our lives right now, whether you're a teenager or a little older. I mean, everyone seems to be using Facebook, Instagram, YouTube all the time.
Absolutely.
As someone who has a very strong social media presence, do you think that this medium helps people cope with the anxious feelings, or does it worsen it in some cases, leading to some sort of FOMO? Or when they're not able to do the online challenges, whether it's like Dalgona coffee or anything, just tagging another 100 people in your photographs. How do you feel that affects people, since you have a very
See,
strong?
social media right from the beginning is like a bane and a boon, to be very honest with you. If you follow the right channel, you follow the right people, it can really, elevate your mood. It can, it can make you feel positive. It can make you it can challenge you to do something. Like if you follow, for example, a very good a fitness model you have or a celebrity, it may he may, if he's your idol and he's running the marathon, maybe it may motivate you to run the marathon as well, or do some exercises as well. But also, people have to realize that social media always tries to show you the best part of it. Nobody shows you the worst part of it. uh, the Dalgona coffee also, they would have made 4 attempts which would have failed. They'll never show you that. It's only the fifth attempt which was nice and photogenic that they will put it up with filters and things like that. So the fact that they have filters is, they're trying to make everything look beautiful.
Yeah.
Like I know that some people prefer Snapchat better than Instagram because Snapchat filters are better. Snapchat, if you take the picture also, your selfie on Snapchat, it sort of cleans out all your blemishes and things like that. So I know a lot of people who use Snapchat just because of the fact that the face filter, or it cleans up your face.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, a lot of these things are definitely superficial, and but I can imagine a lot of kids must be getting even bogged down by mega. Everybody's having such a good life. Even I am having the bad life. You know, so I think people should just take a little this, because they have to understand that everybody's putting out their best stuff. It's not, I'm sure they have the bad days, the bad looks, and they have the kind of fights at home which everybody has. It's fine, we're all human beings. So
Yeah.
I think you have to take it with a pinch of salt, not take it very very literally, this entire social media. Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, so we as first years at University of Warwick, we don't have exams. Our exams got cancelled, our online classes got cancelled. I mean, some people felt it was a good break, much needed of sorts, but some of us also thought that, it would have been good if we had exams. There would have been something that kept us motivated. And the second and
Yeah.
third years, on the other hand, had exams. They've been keeping themselves busy. So, to the people who don't have a routine as such, what would you want to tell them as to the importance of having a routine, since you've made positive news only a routine of your life
I think a routine is very, very important, to be very honest with you, in these times specifically, because otherwise, every day is like a holiday. Every day you can be binge drinking, you could be binge eating. So routine as much as possible. I know some of your, as you said, classes are not there, but under no pressure. I'm not putting any pressure on everybody. But for example, there are a lot of courses available free of cost. For example, the Harvard University has got 60 courses
now?
which they usually charge. They're giving the free of cost. So, for example, I've seen some of them. You can learn about Hinduism. You can learn about Sikhism. You can learn about Egyptian history. You can learn uh, Coursera. There's another very popular online course. They are also giving a lot of courses free of cost currently in this pandemic. Maybe learn a language. Learn Spanish. Not watching Narcos, but the actual course. But
Yeah.
yeah, but I'm saying you can definitely, like, just to tell you, initially, see, even my positive news takes around 4-5 hours
Hmm.
of time. In terms of, I spend around 1 hour in the night collecting the news, and next day early morning I go through the newspaper, collect it, sort of form the points. So just to let you know, thanks to this only positive, I started writing back, because when I'm listening to newspaper or seeing something, I completed an entire book of 200 pages writing, which I think I had never done in the last since I left college. Because you stop writing. It's all on text, it's all on laptop and things like that. So I actually wrote. I think my handwriting is also improved. Plus, what I also did was, I uh, I uh, uh, I always wanted to know much more about film direction, film screenplay writing, what is all about. In a movie, how the different character roles. So I found out that there were some very good online courses available, and I took close to 3 or 4 of them. They were really amazing. I mean, they just opened up a different aspect of mind. So there are a lot of these things which are available. I'm saying make use of time. But again, I'm not trying to put pressure, saying that no, you have to come out of this pandemic learning a new language or a new skill. It's okay. You can take your time out if you want. But as you get bored, there are these lot of things available, and genuinely they could be of interest to you. Like, I'll tell you other things, like maybe it may relate to the second year olds, the second standard, sorry, your second year students, sorry, is that now maybe when they go out, maybe the job scene may not be very good. Okay, because in the pandemic, I always tell, first of all, people, there are two things which will never fail: your education and your experience. So if you have these two things with you, nobody can take that away from you. So now, going into the pandemic, maybe you may find it difficult to job. So it will be very good for you to learn a skill, maybe a language. Maybe could help you. Maybe if you're doing your, it's you have an MBA course, right? Warwick, it's an MBA, it's a postgrad, it's an undergrad course.
It's an undergrad course. There's an undergrad, postgrad both.
So somebody for a postgrad, supposing he or she is doing his MBA, for example, in finance, okay, which is specialized in finance. Maybe you can take a course on marketing, okay, or an HR online course, which is away from your university, and maybe build your skills around that. Somehow, if you want to help people during the pandemic, do you know? Let me tell you, there's a website which is the number one website for COVID tracking in the world. It's called ncovid19.live. Okay, ncovid19.live, and it has been set up by a 17-year-old kid in America. Okay, and that's the number one tracking site. It has, I think, got close to more than 350 million visitors. Which, in fact, even governments refer that site when they want to know which country has got what number of cases. And this kid got an $8 million uh, offer to put ads on the website, and he refused it. He's saying, because I myself don't like ads, pop-up ads on the website, so he refused it. But I'm saying a 17-year-old kid is developing this. There's a 15-year-old kid in Thane in Bombay who has set up in this pandemic, a kind of a medicine website where he cuts out the middlemen. So he buys directly from the pharmaceutical companies, and sells the drugs directly to the users. And you'll be surprised to know Ratan Tata has invested a undisclosed amount in this. So people are doing crazy things like Isaac Newton. Isaac Newton, the famous scientist, developed most of his theorems and these ideas during the London plague, because he was told to from Trinity College to sit at home. So sitting in at home, he sort of thought of all these ideas which he could have never done that. So I think there is a lot of you guys are one of the smartest, a lot of kids out there. I think there are a lot of opportunities you can get. Whatever you want to, you want to learn guitar, learn a guitar. Everything is open nowadays. Everything is online available. You can do this. So I'm saying, if you set your mind to it, you can very honestly make your day very very busy if you wanted to. And I know in a place like Warwick, I know for sure that at least you're allowed to exercise every, I think, an hour a day, if I'm not mistaken, right now.
Yeah, I mean, there's no, like, you can exercise as
There's
much.
no restriction.
There's no
Yeah. So yeah. So I mean, maybe run a marathon. Try to train for a marathon. Keep your body fit. Go for a trek, go for a hike, do so many things. You're such a UK is such a beautiful country, and so many options are there. And I know because my daughter's also currently there, and she's in Huddersfield. So she's also got locked down. She's also doing a master's program. And I have been to Warwick. I've got a beautiful campus you have. So I think that you can do so many things if you want to. Yeah. So just keep yourself busy, and also don't come under pressure. If you feel that because every individual is different. You should not unnecessarily come to, oh my God, she's doing that, he's doing that, I'm doing nothing, I'm a failure. No, no, no. It's okay. You may be going through anxiety, which is very normal in this situation. So just take it easy.
Yeah. And that brings me to my last question, which is asking you to tell something to the students about what motivates you, and so that they can reflect upon it and hopefully motivate them too.
Oh, so what motivates me, to be very honest, life motivates me. When I see a lot of other people doing such amazing work, they motivate me. I have some few idols I look up to. So what work they do, that motivates me. Keeping myself busy really motivates me. In trying to this uh, and when you do honestly something very good from your heart, I think there's a Shah Rukh Khan movie, the Shiddat se kuch karo. I don't know. If you basically put your heart to whatever thing you have, you will excel for sure. I
Yeah.
think a lot of things which motivate me, and I think just the fact that today. Let me also tell you one thing is the entry level barriers for anybody to do something good has it's all collapsed. Earlier for anybody to get into, for example, any field. So let me give you my field, stand-up comedy. If you're really good at your job, if you're really hardworking, uh, within months, within a year, you could become a star if you want to. One viral video of yours can make you into a star. Okay, so keep on working. I one thing before I go, I want to say that time is a very very important resource we have. Time is a currency. It just flies by. It's going very very fast. try to utilize your time in the best possible way which you can, uh, because once it goes away, it doesn't come back. So uh, try to make best use of the time which you have, and I think that itself, should motivate you. Set goals for the day, set goals for the week, whatever you have, and try to achieve them, and I think you'll be successful.
Thank you, sir. It's been our pleasure hosting you, and everything that you have said, this entire conversation, we hope will radiate positivity and motivate everyone who watches it. And we at WIF once again want to thank you for this, and we hope you and your family stay safe and healthy during this pandemic. And we hope to see you back at campus once again.
Yes, even I would come and love to see your campus and have a coffee at Starbucks. I think there's a Starbucks there, right?
Now there's a Pret actually. They've opened a Pret, and we have
Oh, there's
curiosity.
a Pret open. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I know this Pret also. Yeah, so yeah, I've been to your campus. It's a beautiful campus, and in fact, I stayed on campus. You have that one. I
Yeah, we
think
have
it's
two hotels.
the.
There's Radcliffe and I don't remember the other one's name, but there's
I think it was a Rat. I think I stayed at the Radcliffe, and it was such a lovely green campus you had. And I think one of the gentlemen who was hosting me, he showed me the entire campus, including I think your engineering building, which is I think.
Yeah, it's the Lord Bhattacharya
Is it
building.
sponsored by Tata's or somebody? Some Indian company, Mahindra or Tata's? I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Tatas has sponsored it because Lord Bhattacharya was Ratan Tata's friend, and he was the one who
Okay.
founded the engineering school at Warwick. We also have a Tata campus now Tata office on campus. Yeah.
Fantastic. So that's good. And yes, hopefully to see you there. All you guys stay safe, stay positive, and stay put where you are. And yeah, enjoy your studies and have a good life.
Yes, and we look forward to more of your positive episodes only. So that's
Thank you, Namrata. Thank you so much.
thank you, sir.
Take
Bye.
care. Bye bye. See you. Take care.